Here's my random thought. And I've probably brought this up with you guys before. If a nuclear bomb were to go off in any city, any town, there would be a perfect ring around the explosion where every house or store had every bit of food in there perfectly cooked.
Ew.
All right. Welcome into the Gamer Slate podcast, the podcast where we talk about gaming news, pop culture, and occasionally anything we really want to. I am your host, Harry, and as always, I am here with my two hosts, Larry
Hello.
and Aaron.
Hello, hello.
We got a good show. Today we're going to be talking about a Souls-type game where you're underwater? Question mark. And the big topic of the day is going to be Fallout, the games, the show that only two of us have watched. But going back into
Right.
the thought I had, explosions. There is a circumference around each one of them, and I'm calling it the circle of deliciousness.
Circle of radiation poisoning.
Well, I mean, it's seasoning.
I
Okay.
mean, if you partake in hot dogs, you might as well be eating radiated food.
Exactly.
It might be cooked better than some of my dad's early attempts at grilling when I was young.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, Dad.
same with my mom. So we two of us have watched the Fallout show.
Let's kick it off with this. Yeah. Do we
I've
wanna
watched 3 episodes.
Oh, you've watched some then.
Oh,
I've
so
watched
proud of
3. I
Ah.
started it because I care about you guys.
I'm so proud of you. What do you
my,
think?
My heart is full to bursting.
I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm gonna keep watching it at the gym. That's just been what I've been doing.
Nice.
You might want to like put the screen. You have like a darkened screen protector.
No, I'm not a pervert.
Some people might think you would be later on. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, is there nudity? Or
Episode
Larry's
6.
confused by these statements.
No.
Vault 4, baby.
Wait, what?
You watched the show, Vault 4.
I have no idea what this means.
I
it's
mean,
gonna be
I know Vault 32, and there are issues in the beginning. There's a little bit of, adult material, but
You remember the cult in Vault 4?
the who?
The cult, when they're doing they spread
Oh,
the ashes?
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're right. Spoilers, everyone.
Spoilers, Aaron.
Are we staying spoiler free for this, or are you guys going like
I mean,
full on discussion? Or
that is up to you, Aaron. You are the one that is 5 episodes behind. Right now,
Well,
so.
you know what? If we do want to discuss up to where Aaron has gone, we can tag everything as spoiler for Fallout show.
you can tell me to take my headphones off, and I'll try to read lips and see what I gather.
So, Larry, what do you your initial thoughts on the show?
So I went into this not having a ton of maybe confidence because of what we know video game adaptations to be, with the exception of The Last of Us recently. So I think that's my benchmark. I had a great time with that, and I didn't really know. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that the Fallout show was coming up. So like what Aaron and I were getting ready to talk about in one of the last episodes that got gobbled up by gremlins was just, how this snuck up on me. For example, I love Fallout. I kind of started getting this bug. Somehow subliminal messaging got out to me, and I was paying attention to Fallout. You could see behind me, I got my bobbleheads. I got my bomb, my Pip-Boy and everything like that. Nuka-Cola Victory. The bug got me, and then the show was fantastic. I was so like pleasantly surprised, and I think because I went in there not having high expectations, I just had expectations.
Expectations.
What about you, Harry?
Oh man, it was great. I had to watch it 2 times through. I was going through the second time trying to find Easter eggs and everything.
Yeah.
And I initially went into it thinking there was going to be 3 main characters, and Norm really grew on me.
Yeah. Norm's a good character. I mean, we're not
I
going to
really-
talk about Norm's trajectory and everything like that, but Norm is definitely I thought he was like kind of shady at first, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so I'm following, Norm is her brother, right?
Yes. Her
That's
brother.
right.
Yeah, I'm liking where I'm getting the vibes from him so far based on episode 3. I haven't had much of him yet, but so far I'm like, I want to see where this goes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So he has my eye already.
Personally,
Oh, man, it's-
I feel like they nail the happy, smiley like effect of the vaults
Mhm.
perfectly with Vault 33. I think they did a great job with that, and yeah, Vault Tech, man,
Vault Tech.
heck of a company.
Oh.
See,
Oh.
and I'm hearing all this, and I feel like I'm truly just through like the beginning.
You
Oh,
really
yeah.
are.
3 episodes.
Yeah, you really
So,
are.
like-
One of my coworkers described this show as like a car at a drag race getting to take off, and the first 2 or 3 episodes are just spinning the tires, warming it up, and then it's gonna
Yeah.
take off at some point.
I'll explain it in food terms. You go to a restaurant, you sit down, you get drinks, appetizers, food. You're at the drinks right now.
What? Not even had the appetizer yet? I haven't
No,
had
you're not at the
mozzarella
appetizers.
sticks.
It starts getting good like
Damn.
episode 4 or 5.
Yeah, the first 3 episodes, yeah, I can definitely see where you're kind of getting introductory stuff. Aaron, have you met the ghoul?
Oh yeah, Ghouls in episode 1.
Okay, I can't remember like where the
All right, do you want me to
introductions are.
tell you where episode 3 ended since you guys have already seen it? Light
Yeah.
spoilers, light framing of it.
Yeah, we can just go up to where you've gone and talk about that, and then this is all marked as spoilers for everyone, so
All
that
right.
they know if they don't want to hear that discussion, they can skip ahead in the show.
All right, Lucy's traveling with a cowboy. I'll just say that so it's loose.
Wait. That sounds a little. The wording's a little off.
yep. She traveling with a cowboy. We got another character who's really hard and has a squire. And then we have the brother who just suggested capital punishment.
Yeah.
And we had a Vault Tech photo shoot in the past.
Oh man.
That is the
you're
last things I've seen.
You're getting into the backstory.
Yeah, yep.
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
this is what makes Fallout such a fantastic series, especially thinking about the games, and this goes back, I think, to how, I guess, polarizing it is for us, where Aaron, you said before like that, hey, you can really get down with watching people play in the game, but experiencing it yourself firsthand has not been like something that you prefer.
Yeah.
But it's these little things that you explore that, unlike other series, in my opinion, for my own personal preference, that's the stuff that makes this worthwhile. Is like, maybe it's not the main story or like the what the main character is going through, but those little side stories of how they weave other characters through, and just different things that have happened in the past that make everything seem like there's consequence.
Yeah, because so far, surprisingly, the ghoul is my favorite character. Like, he's the most interesting character.
Did you know that that's Bubba Gump from Forrest Gump that goes and gets him?
Oh yeah, the dude that he knocks in the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I saw that
Did
first
not
episode. I was
know
like, is that Bubba?
Yeah. Denise and
I brought my.
Denise and I were watching it, and she's like, "Is that Bubba?"
Yeah, I was sitting there with my wife, and I was like, imagine him with his lip sticking out. And she's like, oh my God.
I did not pick up on that at all, I'll be honest, but I
There's
don't
a lot
watch
of-
stuff.
There's a lot of weird faces in there that you're like, oh my God, that's that person.
Hey, don't you talk about my face?
And I like how it's coming out at the same time as Dune, because 1980s Dune, her dad was the main
Oh, yeah.
character, Paul.
Yep.
And I was like, oh.
What's so funny about that is like you reference him for Dune, and I'm like, the guy from Sex and the City. And it says like 2 different things about us, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I really like Dune. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dune's
I've
good.
not seen part 2 yet.
The books are
want to.
amazing.
It was very good. It was very good. But yeah, I will say, like, character development wise, I feel like in that first 3 episodes, they're starting to do a good job of just telling you who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else feel weird about Maximus?
I don't see. I at the beginning I did. I was like, he's a whiny bitch. I was like, I was like, this dude is whiny. I'm gonna hate him. And then near the end, it like after the Vault 4 stuff, it kind of leveled out.
I'll
Like,
be honest. 3 episodes in, I'm struggling to enjoy him as a character, and not because of the writing. I think it's just as a person. He gives me skeevy vibes every once in a while. Like he has a weird look on his face when certain things are said. He answers certain things weird, and he's willfully at this point subjugating someone to the same torture he was willingly.
yeah, what's so weird to me about him is it almost has this Game of Thrones effect of not saying things that you should in the time that you're given. And
Right.
I get that some of that's probably intentional because maybe he's more like a deer in the headlights in a lot of these situations
Mm-hmm.
because he's a traumatized human being.
True.
But
But
I just, yeah, it's weird that he wants power. He wants this power armor. He wants to be a knight. He wants to like be able to exercise his power. But what are his intentions and
well,
what does he do when he gets that power?
yeah, and I think it's a big red flag when someone is asked, "Why do you want to be a knight?" and his answer was to hurt those who hurt me.
Yeah.
Not to protect people, not to stand up for injustice or to fix issues, but to hurt people.
Well, I mean, you also got to look at what kind of world they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the knights are supposed to, I know they're a problematic group in general, but they're supposed to be like the greater good, right? Like they're trying to help
That
people.
that
No.
leans more into the Enclave.
More to the enclave. Yeah, it's just that
But
answer didn't sit well with me from a person.
I mean, he also explained it himself. He's like, everybody wants to fix the world, just nobody knows how to do it the right way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't agree on how.
I mean, he's no more than a hero than Ghoul is. I think. I think they're both
Yeah.
anti-heroes.
Yeah. It's just I'm curious about where he's going as a character. I want to see where he's going, but right now he is a person I don't fully trust their judgment.
Yeah, like I said, later on that'll kind of even out a little bit.
Yeah. I kind of find the 3 characters, Lucy, Maximus, and the ghoul, as like kind of different tropes. Like Lucy is exactly what you think of yourself as when you start playing a Fallout game, where you want to do
Mm-hmm.
the right thing, you want to make the good karma choices, and you want to be the good guy, despite all of the bad things happening. You've got Maximus, who is like this beaten down person who's gone through a tough time, and you kind of don't know who he is. He kind of doesn't know who he is, but he's driven by revenge. And then you've got the ghoul, who is an anti-hero. You know, you've got somebody who not exactly a good guy, but may have this arc that you may see down the line based on like humanizing him. You know, take this monstrous creature, this monstrous figure, and who knows what they'll do with him in the series. But they're you know, you can only imagine what they need to do to make you maybe like this character or hate the character.
Right. And I do think they are strongly foreshadowing that arc for the ghoul. I mean, the very beginning you first see him, they have the chicken with them. And they're like, well, if a ghoul goes after a chicken, there's no hope for him.
Oh, it was
He
great.
let the
He's like
chicken
he's like
he let
licking
the
his
chicken
chops.
live.
He's licking
I
his
have-
chops too.
But he let the chicken live. So that tells me his arc is going to be he's not a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's you'll when you get more of the backstory.
Yeah,
I have a theory, and this is probably going to be a dumb theory, but I can't say it right now because Aaron is only 3 episodes in.
That's
All
okay.
right, let me know when it-
Yeah.
Okay,
Go.
I think okay. So he is spoilers for anybody listening right now. I think that Maximus is Ghoul's son.
No. All right. What are your
Listen.
supporting thoughts for that?
So in the list of people that are in 31, his wife or son were not in there.
It's wife and daughter.
Daughter? Is it a daughter?
Yes.
I couldn't tell if it was a girl or a boy.
Nope. That's the daughter.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Theory has been squashed. You can come back
Yeah.
now, Aaron. Yeah.
All right.
We squashed
back.
that. We squashed that theory real
We
quick.
squashed it. We squashed it. Yeah. I guess I wasn't paying that much attention
Yeah.
to
I
the
know.
beginning of the show.
Yep. So, Aaron, tell me about your thoughts on your introduction to Cooper, the ghoul, and seeing when the bombs drop and everything like that. What's your reaction to this? You know the series. It's not like it's your first time in there, but how do you think they handled it?
I really liked that intro. And it didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't drag on. It was a pretty short, yep, this happening, boom, bombs are going off, here we are.
Did anybody else get like a gut drop from that intro, or was it just me?
I
It was
did.
beautiful. It
Yeah.
was beautiful, man.
Yeah, Denise
And
and I
I
were
think-
watching it, and it was like, whoa, that just hit.
Yeah, and I think that's well done, and it should be a gut drop because that's how it would happen. There would be no warning. There would be no sirens. It would just, there's the first hit.
Mm-hmm.
We're here now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then a second, third, fourth, fifth.
Fun fact for you guys about the show: there's a segment, and it may be beyond where you're at, Aaron. I'm not sure, but there's a town in the show, that a part of the show was actually filmed in a town near where I grew up in New Jersey.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, a town called Atco. So yeah, they filmed a portion of that. I forgot that they did that, and I had to look that up. So like there were cool behind the scenes things that I had
just-
found online prior to. Yep.
So were you watching this show and you're like, oh wait, I recognize this place?
No, you really wouldn't, because it's really filmed in like the woods. It's filmed in some trees and stuff like that. I think there's a junkyard or something like that, and it's filmed that way. So like there was a picture of it before production, like editing and stuff like that happens, and then afterwards, and it's like, oh, that's really similar, but it's not something like I've never gone to that location. I just know, hey, it was filmed in the town. That's cool.
Yeah.
My big question raised about the Fallout series now is, why are there no vaults in Indiana? That's
Uh,
that's an actual fact about Fallout lore. There are none in the state of Indiana.
I would love to find out that there was a political reason, like the politicians of Indiana were like, no, Vault Tech, you can't be in here.
there are no registered vaults in Indiana.
Ah,
Yep.
all right.
Yep.
But again, also you could think about like how the land looks in Indiana, and some of the bombs could have caused flooding from the Great Lakes.
Yeah. And we
Mhm.
have the cave systems down south, so
Mhm.
maybe that's why. Geographic didn't make sense.
Maybe the
But-
next game will explain that to us.
You never know. There were two unannounced projects teased by Todd Howard too. So I'm not sure what we're anticipating or when we'll hear anything more about it. But granted, Fallout 5 is kind of the next thing that they'll work on beyond Skyrim. So we'll get that when we're 80 years old. But I'm anxiously awaiting what they could possibly be
Now-
coming up with.
I did hear confirmation, I'm not sure which exactly, but that they're remaking Fallout 2 in the Fallout 4 engine.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I think it's just gonna be a mod for Fallout 4.
But it's an official mod, like made by a Bethesda group.
Yeah,
All right.
I think
Yeah,
that'd be pretty
that's
cool,
what I wasn't sure of.
because they squandered my hopes of Fallout London anytime soon
Well,
with this update.
that's a thing though. That's interesting because they kind of say that in this show as well, and I think it's the normal canon is Vault-Tec's strictly an American company.
Yes.
Like it's not in London.
Yeah.
So
It wouldn't be canon. It was just going to be neat because they were working on it for 5,000 years, and now because of the updates to Fallout 4, it's now put that on the back burner where the mod team has to mess around with that, you know. So I think it'll be interesting to see Fallout 2 kind of have a little refresher. I did play around since I have the anthology with Fallout 1, and Jesus Christ, it's tough. It's tough as nails.
It's
Have
a
you guys
very
ever played?
different game for the
Yeah.
first two, aren't they?
Yeah, have you ever messed around with it?
No, I've just seen screenshots and videos. It's isometric. It's a little bit more not real time combat, or is it real time combat?
No,
I have no idea.
it's turn based. Well, yeah, maybe real time, but turn based. It's weird because the enemies can attack you. You have points to be able to use on your actions, like walking or running, and then attacking as well. So it's a very different beast. Like I got killed immediately because I walked into a square on the map that had 3 Yagwais just sitting there ready to get me, and I didn't realize I had a gun that I could equip. So I'm trying to punch them.
That's where one of my favorite memes is from 2, I believe. He jumps over a fence, and then the dog, like transmorphs into a man, jumps over the fence, and goes back into a dog. And he turns back, and he's like,
Yeah,
"What?"
yeah. Yep, I've seen that too. There's a lot of different memes about that now at this point because it kind of resurfaced recently. But yeah, I would
I
love
think
to be able to explore the stories of those games. I just feel like the gameplay is a very like it's gonna be a lot of death trying to get through that.
I think it'd be more in your wheelhouse, Aaron.
Oh,
The
1 and 2,
first two,
probably.
yeah, they're like a Diablo-ish kind of like RTS kind of style game.
Isometric and all that. Yeah, it
Mhm.
might help, but we'll have. I would try them. I'm just hesitant to give more time to the games of Fallout for me as of
Yeah,
right now. Like I haven't even really like put my thumb on what doesn't click for me about them.
it's I don't know. It's not for everybody. I would say it's more of a sci-fi, and I'm guessing you're leaning more to the fantasy realm.
I do typically, yeah, because I mean I played thousands of hours of Elder Scrolls,
Yeah,
both
Yeah,
Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim,
yeah.
yeah. I
See, and
mean, I've played a
that's
ton of
me
Skyrim
and
myself.
Fallout.
but Fallout I bounce off of.
Right. No, it's understandable. It's really, really, really large. I mean, in a different way, I think, than Skyrim, for example, is. You know, the RPG aspect of something in fantasy is, I don't know, maybe more familiar. And Fallout, though it's kind of set in a world like ours, it's kind of dreary. You know, it's very gloom and doom. And
Everything's barren, everything's a wasteland, everything's
Mhm.
irradiated and poisonous, and
Yeah, yeah, and I can kind of see where that is kind of a drag in a sense. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's one of those situations too of you just go in your your console commands and just cheat it, like me and Harry did the other night.
To be frank, I'm running a regular game on my Xbox, but on my PC, I was like, console commands. I'm gonna go to level 4,000.
Harry tempted me with that
demigod.
too. Yeah, he tempted me with that too. So it was like we were both talking about it, and it was like hours of the level up bar just moving across the screen. But
Yeah,
I was able to level everything up so quickly just by going to level 200. I can't even imagine 4,000. You're just picking things
yeah.
off with like by breathing on them.
Well, it was still
Um,
doing it when I was saving, so I'm guessing when I load it up again, it's gonna be like, woo,
yeah,
woo.
yeah. And I think it would be my intention to continue playing seriously, probably from my console, and just goof around with the PC version because why else, you know, at this point, you know, I want to maybe be able to power through and do some alternative options in Fallout 4, for example,
Mm-hmm.
or go to Fallout 3 and New Vegas and re-experience them with maybe some mods on them because I really want to revisit those. There's storylines in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas that I didn't explore because I never completed those games.
I made the mistake of going back to New Vegas.
It's not as
Like,
it rose colored glasses, man. Yeah.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying this if this episode takes off for some reason, but I played it as a kid, loved it. Like that game was perfect for me. I went back as an adult after playing 4 and like other story games, and like the story is great. Don't get me wrong, I love the story. It is the in between everything else. It is just empty.
Yes. I remember New Vegas
It's
being like that, and the only thing I remember doing the first time I ever opened it was going to the junction and getting
mhm.
mauled by death claws.
Like I like going to, I can't remember the town. Nove, no Nova,
Navara?
Nova, yeah,
Was it
where
Navara?
you go the dinosaurs
Mm-hmm.
place.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that was like, oh man, this is not all flat. This is nice. But outside that little mountain range, it's just flat. It's like
Yeah.
you're in the salt flats of like Salt Lake.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not a diverse area, and that's what makes it. I think it's more about the RPG aspects of leveling up
Hmm.
and like building your character, and then getting into the city, than
Hmm.
probably anything else in between. It just, if you were playing it on survival, that would probably make it maybe more interesting or more
Yeah.
difficult, kind of to kind of see the real life effect of it, for example. But I
Hmm.
mean, hell, I would just cheat the hell out of it at this point.
Well, I mean, it's also like people are always like, oh, you're not. It's not a Fallout game because you're not a vault dweller. It's like, yeah, but it's you still take, you still go into vaults. It's like, yeah, but you didn't start out. You started out as a courier. A courier. It's like, okay,
Wait, say that again.
you start courier,
A
carrier, however
courier.
you want to, courier.
That was good. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna start saying courier.
Yeah, you start out as courier, like someone who delivering packages. You're not like
You're a mailman.
you're not
Packages.
you're not a vault dweller.
Yeah, yeah. You're somebody who's lived on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I love the seeing the comparisons for like like strongest or smartest protagonist for the games. Like if you were to say level them up, for example, like what would the sole survivor be better than the courier, or things like that, and seeing the arguments between, like, oh well, the courier survived a gunshot to the head, you know, but the sole survivor from Fallout 4 has military experience and is over 200 years old at this point.
Yeah,
So there's cool things about, I think, all the origins of the characters and then everything around it.
I think it. I don't know, but there are also talks of remakes of 3 in New Vegas.
I mean, I don't see anything official about it, but I'm seeing a lot of
No, no,
people
nothing
putting
official.
it out there to request it. Like, do you think one of these should get that? Like, yeah, that'd be wonderful. Like, but Bethesda's
There
not.
Would it
are
They're
though?
not Capcom. They're not Capcom.
I was
there are
say,
2 unnamed projects.
would it though? Would you really want Fallout 3 in Starfield's engine? Would that really make it a better game?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
And you didn't anticipate the resounding yes from us. And I mean, modernizing it would be fantastic if it really got modernized. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see some changes, quality of life changes in those games,
Hmm.
because what goes on in them is pretty awesome. Would I want that prioritized over a next title? No. Do
Oh
I
yeah.
think do I think that Bethesda needs to be able to have more resources to move on things faster so that the games are not releasing after Todd Howard passes away? Yeah.
Yeah. I, but I just maybe it's because I'm still sour from Starfield being such a wet fart of a game to me.
Well,
Well,
But
okay.
here's my thought on that too. Is like I'm wondering, right? And I think I'm gonna put this out there later on social. It's just like, all right, is Starfield totally like a wet fart? Is it absolutely a wet fart, or are we just not? I'm gonna use this phrase kind of lightly. Are we not ready for it? Is there something that we need to find from it that we're gonna enjoy later on? We look at it a couple years from now, and it comes back, and we're like, this is cool. I don't know why I didn't
Well,
appreciate it then.
it's
Or is it really a turd?
it's a Bethesda game. Like up front, it's going to be blocky and ugly,
It's not
and it's
even
a
that
new engine.
Starfield is ugly. I
Well, no, I'm
mean,
saying like
it's a
that. I'm
little
not
weird.
saying it like in the fact like it visually. I'm saying like gameplay and everything. Eventually, I think it'll get to the happy medium, and it'll have a bit of reverence to it,
Hmm.
like the Fallout games, because we're looking back at like Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3. They released kind of broken, and then they got fixed through patches.
You couldn't play Fallout. I don't think you could play Fallout 3 on PlayStation back in the day. Or
No,
was that Sky? No, that was
but
Skyrim. That was Skyrim. Excuse me.
here's my thing. The point is like with Starfield, they made a space exploration game and removed the space and exploration.
No, you're absolutely right. Like they definitely handicapped the capabilities of the game that they were setting out to make, and I just the problem with it is I think like pride and hubris, right? They set out to say
Yeah,
this is going to be this game changing title, right? No pun intended, game changing
they tr-
game, and it's not. It's just a Bethesda game.
right.
Have you been to space? How do you know there's not weird loading screens when we go to space?
So we do live in a simulation.
Uh huh.
I don't know. I talked
It's
to
just
Elon
and
about that.
I guess that's my big gripe with like Starfield is like it feels you're just walking between two empty points to get to your next point of interest, and that didn't feel the case in Skyrim, in Oblivion. Didn't feel the
Hmm.
case in the small bits I played Fallout 4, Fallout 3, New Vegas. You would find something interesting to take you off the road, to
Hmm.
force you off the
Hmm.
into the beaten path and find interesting things, and they'd be there. But in this, they literally made a PR statement where they were like, "It's supposed to be empty. It's space."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Well, my biggest gripe with Starfield, I think, if they were to fix it, would probably help me stay in it. Is all right. Fallout, you have your Pip-Boy. That's like your hub for everything about your inventory, about your map, about your quests. Skyrim, you've got a great map, right? You've got a good
yeah,
quest line system. You've got a great hub for your character. In Starfield, I feel like the UI just totally ruins my experience where I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going. The map doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't, maybe it's a sign, I have an IQ that's the same as the temperature in the room maybe, and I'm just dumb. But if that stuff was plainly put in a way that's easily accessible, you know what, when you press the back button, you know where you're going in this in the in the interface, like okay, then I'll feel better about it, and I could probably spend more time playing rather than spending more time trying to figure out where the hell I'm going. Then I'd
Yeah.
feel better about it.
yeah,
That was my big gripe about it, because I think I could get into the characters. I think I could get into the exploration side stories maybe too, but fix the UI, fix how I can know where I'm going. I was on the main planet like for the main storyline, like where in the do I go? Because there's nothing indicating where to go or what to do properly.
I didn't expect a lot though. It was a new engine, so I mean, I
new
expected like
engine,
new engine.
quote unquote.
I was expecting game breaking bugs day one because it's Bethesda, man. I mean, that's what you expect, and there wasn't as many as I expected. There were some
No,
bugs.
no, the problem isn't the game running
Jankiness.
well
Yeah.
or no bugs. It's a fundamental problem with the game itself,
It's
and
the
that
stuff.
makes me nervous about their future projects.
It's that there's stuff to do, but it still feels empty. It's the Redfall kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Redfall. Oof.
Hey, that's the
There's
1 year
stu-
anniversary of Redfall at this point, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's a 1 year anniversary, and they still have people waiting on DLC. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Bethesda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
But like back into like DLC, I've been seeing a ton about the next gen update for Fallout 4 being a problem, and I have not experienced any issues with the update. I'm playing vanilla, no mods, so I think it's been awesome. It's nice to see, especially on console. Like, I get it. I'm not going to be 60 frames per second on console, but listen, the textures look great. It's running smoothly from everything I can see from the time that I spent in it. So, hell, I'm happy. It was nice to be able. I stopped playing it because I was waiting for that update, and it's worked out well for me.
I will say I went back with it to Redfall, and it got better. It got a little bit better.
Wait, you're bringing up Redfall again? I moved on from Redfall, sir.
Sorry. I was reading something about Redfall.
That was your game of the year, Harry.
I know.
Secretly.
Mm-hmm. That was your guilty pleasure game. So when we go to the end of the year here, you're going to have to say your guilty pleasure was that.
I played enough of it.
Yeah, you beat the game.
Yeah. But I went back. I went back and it got better. It got a little bit better.
Okay. All right.
From a D to a C, or are we talking from like C to a B? Like
from an F to a D.
Probably an F to a C.
Whoa, that's a big jump.
C's get degrees. So
it was a lot of it was movement at the beginning, and then they fixed the movement a little bit, and it got a little bit better.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, anything else that we want to touch on the game side of things for Fallout?
No, I don't know. I'm kind of out of it right now. I don't really thoughts on anything else.
No thoughts in my head. Huh?
Yeah, it's just
head empty.
Head empty.
Yeah, and I've been a little bit hiatus from playing mini games. I played some Baldur's Gate 3, but that's not really news.
You did say you would jump into 76 with us, though.
We've yet to schedule that. I said I would, and I will.
That can be a next week thing if we get the time.
All right.
Let's aim for it. Because that's we got to figure out though. You know, if we're going from console or we're going PC, because it's not cross.
PC.
Yeah, going PC. All right, we'll do that.
I don't think
we'll set up.
Aaron has an Xbox.
I'm not gonna buy an Xbox either.
Do it. We're gonna set up. I'll set up Fallout first so we can play private, so we don't have to worry about any randos. You know, because unless we want to, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever. But
Appalachia's fun, though. I will say that.
It is. It's totally cool. I ran into playing Fallout 76. I was just wandering, and I ran into some gigantic monster. What the hell is his? I can't remember the name of the monster. What'd you say?
Is it Mothman?
No, I would know if it was Mothman. I would have said Mothman. It was some other cryptid, and I just totally cheesed him. Like, I just kept standing behind something and shooting at him, and he was just throwing shit at me. And, yeah, I beat him, and I probably shouldn't have been able to. It took me a while.
So, quick question. I've never touched 76 at all. That's one I haven't even seen anything from. I've heard about all the expansions and stuff. How big is the map now? Because I know Boston was a location, and now you're talking about Appalachia.
It's huge.
How big is this map at this point?
It's like, I would say, a good 30 minutes across, like 30 real world minutes across.
Probably more than that, because you get stopped by everything, unless you sprint it across without, engaging anything. But it's big.
In a straight line, 30 minutes.
Yeah, this is like West Virginia, whereas other games have taken place in places like Washington, D.C., or Massachusetts, or, for example, Vegas, in Nevada. So this is a different scenario. What I've really enjoyed seeing is the visual fidelity in 76 is increased.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy how it looks.
It is so beautiful.
Yes, and you'll notice when you look at the older games, you look at Fallout 3, you look at Fallout New Vegas, there is something about it, like the lighting. Fallout 3 always has this green tinge to it. Fallout New Vegas has this brown and orange tinge to it. Then you go to Fallout 4 and it's colorful. It's got a different palette. It's really nice. And then Fallout 76 is more robust.
All right.
Four still has that green a little bit to it.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Maybe it's just in the vaults that I'm noticing it, but
maybe I find that it's just going from Fallout 3 recently and going into Fallout 4. It is like I don't want to play the other ones because I want the fidelity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, But 76, it's so pretty.
Hmm. Yeah, I noticed the differences. Right, you can see it in the models for like the weapons. You can see like the level of detail they put into it, the care, and just the world itself has got a lot going on in it that it's just fun to wander and see what you can find. I found the lemonade guy, the lemonade robot. He was fun.
And the backstories, so the backstories in there. Like there's backstory for the game, and then there's also side mission backstories that are like really rich.
Yes, and they were not there when that game first came out. You did not
No.
have any of that, and that's what got me back in right away. And the only reason why I haven't jumped back into more 76 is I do want to play with you guys. I do want to
And
jump in and enjoy that together.
the lack of NPCs really killed it. Like when I played the first time, and then I was like, oh, they have NPCs now.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
But as a result of the Fallout series, especially seeing that it did really well, the Fallout 76 game like had 1 million players, and they haven't seen that since the game came out, for example. So that goes to show you that one good piece of media can really drive something that otherwise folks were like, I don't know about this, into really enjoying it. And I've even had people that don't really pay attention to that talk to me about the show.
Yeah. I had a guy that I work with. He's just like, oh man, did you watch Fallout? I was like, what do you think? I play video games. Yes, I've watched the show. He's like, I was like, do you ever play the games? He's like, no. I was like, oh, so you don't get a lot of the references. He's like, no. I was like, so at the very end, you didn't see what he was looking at, which I won't say it now because Aaron hasn't.
Yeah, right. I
But
think
it's just like,
I think even my downstairs neighbor was like watching the show because I could hear the old timey music, and I was like, I know that.
I just think everybody's face at the end of the episode.
Yeah, that was a good one. And it was one of those things I didn't even recognize at first. I was like kind of ADDing it towards the end of the series, like back and forth. And I watched it again, and I said, all right, I'm ready. My body is ready.
Yeah. Good old time. So we have a Souls-like game that just released a Game Pass within the last week or two, I guess. Another Crab's Treasure. We're playing it. We're loving it. Larry, what are your thoughts on that?
Jeez, I was wondering where you're going with that. That was like, hey, listen, we heard about
Painfully
this game.
awkward.
Yes, it was very awkward, but we love it. We're not calling that out. So we heard about this game a while ago, and I forgot about it. You brought it back to my attention because you were like, hey, it's on Game Pass. And I got a chance to dip my toe in the water and play it. I thought it's really cool. Like, all right, so Souls-likes can be really frustrating. We all know that. But Another Crab's Treasure is based on you being a little hermit crab that lives in a tide pool that owes money to a loan shark. It's literally one of those aquarium stick sharks. You know what I'm talking about? That like you can like open and close the mouth, but it's on a stick. And
it's got a fedora.
Yeah, it steals your little hermit crab shell because you owe it junk. You owe it trash. And microplastics to pay your taxes ultimately to the loan shark's boss. And you know, the game goes through that intro and then just drops you off in the middle of the ocean where you have to fight, you know, like normal looking crabs and other kind of beasties that just want to destroy you, all while wading through like the traces of human garbage in the ocean, like flip-flops and sunglasses and cigarette butts and all this different stuff you can collect, for example. Controls were really nice. It feels cool to kind of jump around and swim as a crab. You can't swim around freely in the ocean, and that's how they limit your movement, things like that. But my gameplay ended when I died for the first time, truly, which was against a really, really difficult boss that I was like, let me just be patient and see if I could do it. No, that thing crushed me.
Aww.
and I didn't even find like a little first shell to throw on my back. A first because apparently you can find different items through your progression in the game that serve as you know placeholders for your
Yeah.
original shell that gets taken. And I think that those will have different spells or powers on them to kind of help you progress too. And do you find different weapons? I don't even know. But my time with it was cool.
Yeah. I liked it a lot. Like I'm not to the first boss part yet because I kept like going in and out of it because I'm like, oh, I'll play this for a minute and then it'd be late at night. It's like, oh, I gotta go to work. And I'd come home and I'd start it up and be like, I want to play Fallout. Let's go to Fallout.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just got it installed, so I'm gonna try to play it soon. The only
But
thing
like,
oh,
oh, good.
the only thing I've seen about it though is there is an easy mode you can turn on in settings. Have you guys seen that?
Yes. I went on
That's
normal.
Did you see what easy mode is?
no.
You get a pistol for a shell, and you can just shoot everything.
I did not notice that. Why did I not
Yeah.
notice that? I was aware that you get like an extra hit, like you get an extra health and stuff like that, but I didn't know there was a pistol one. That's great.
It's
Love
called like it's a certain mode and it's in settings. It's not when you start the game. It's literally in the settings of the game.
it. Okay, I didn't dig into that then. That's what it is. But I mean, from the standpoint of design, I think it's really unique. I love the setting, the ocean, and then dealing with like the human effect with microplastics. You're collecting that as a piece of currency that you can trade in for stats to boost you in that true like roguelike fashion. Obviously, having the campfire style save spots where you can, if you die, you start back at those spots too. So it's kind of tried and true what we know from that style of game. The voice acting sounds good too. I mean, it sounds like really like you got heart and soul behind it, which is great, and a lot of character. So for anybody looking for that kind of challenging yet cutesy style, I mean, listen, this is probably a great game. And on Game Pass, again, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah. Game Pass has been hitting lately.
You're real fidgety over there, Harry.
That's my hair. It's in my face.
It's time to shave it. All right.
No.
When we hit a certain milestone here with the show, Harry gets to shave his beard and his hair. We're
100 active listeners.
Yeah, we're gonna
1,000.
bick the top of your head.
1,000? You're setting the goal on my hair, bro.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We did it.
I have spoken, so it must be.
Once we hit
1,000?
1 million, Aaron watches Batman.
Yeah.
If we hit 1 million, we all shave at the same time. Everything.
Nah, I can't
Eyebrows
do
and
that.
everything.
All right.
You guys ready to wrap it up? Or you got anything else to talk about today?
I mean, I may or may not be downloading Fallout 4 to give it one more shot.
We're
And-
gonna.
Question about 76. Do I need the DLCs, or are you guys just playing base game?
Base game. I'm playing base game.
I didn't pay anything extra for any
No.
DLCs. It's just
All right.
there.
I'm saying like I think the Game Pass version has Atlantic City on it.
All right. Good to know. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, it's been a Fallout type of show. I mean, that's really what we're going to catch up on from the previous weeks where we had shows that we couldn't put out. So apologies to the listeners. You guys probably have been wondering where in the heck we've been. Technical issues abound. Of course, welcoming Harry back for his first show back in a while. Thank you very much, Harry, for joining us again, super producer and super personality.
Thanks for tuning in today. If you guys liked hanging out with us, hit the follow button and rate us on your favorite podcast platform, either Spotify, iHeart, whatnot. You can find all of our links in the description of this episode. If you guys want to follow us on Twitter, follow us personally or just the podcast. Either way, it's fine. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, because this is a video episode, hit the subscribe button, the bell, so you know when we post stuff. And until next time, guys, game on, sleep well.